Ladies and gentlemen, the story you are about to see is true. The names have been changed to protect the innocent.
So welcome back, folks. I've got my voice back. How cool is that? No, I'm not on the beer at the moment. I might have one later on. But I collect some pretty cool glasses. Well, I nick them really from the pub. So anyway, Liz! Oh my God, mate. Oh, Liz, that fucking Henrietta, he was a nightmare. And he brought someone in called Sam, who ought to be called Samantha, because he didn't know if she was a she and a he, and I said if he had a willy, he's a boy. Yeah, oh, no, I'll get it together. Your bag back. Good. Right, well. Liz is back! How cool is that? Super dupers, Liz. Hey, Liz, while you're back, give us a decent t-shirt. Hey, the professionals! Cue the titles!
You came into control.
So this week with Gary we talk about the CBDC, the Central Banking Digital Currency. Is it good or is it bad? That will be in Food for Thought. And let's see who's behind all this. So yes, Before They Die is actually back this week. We've got a doozy apparently, because Liz is looking after us. And to finish with, we've got a real good film review with Gazza this week. It's a doozy. Stay tuned.
So, central bank digital currency, what is it? Wow, I've been doing some research, looking at some videos. I'm not a conspiracy theorist or nothing like that, you know that. Please do your own research. This is 100% total control. Did you know this was actually introduced in China first? Figure it out. China of all places. I've got notes and my head is buzzing. I mean, for a start, it's not actual money. So at the moment, you think that you're using digital, like we've got our, cards and stuff. That's digital. But this is different. This transaction is between me and the purchaser and my bank. That all changes under central banking, right? So I'm going to now just hand over to a few videos that actually show it a little bit better than me just sitting here yapping away and getting drunk. Especially now I'm having a beer after watching all this stuff and looking at it. This is 100% control. So bear with me, have a look at a few of these videos, please. I'll interject in the middle and we'll take it from there.
I'm concerned about the lack of understanding that people have about the implementation of things like a digital currency that is centralized, that's controlled by the government.
Right.
That scares the shit out of me.
Absolutely.
Because that's what and Maxine Waters, who has been promoting this, said that we need this to compete with China, which is so crazy.
Yeah.
It's like saying we need communism to compete with communism.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's what it is.
Yeah.
If you want to compete with communists, you have to be a communist. Like what?
Yeah.
Like digital currency that's centralized by the state is terrifying because they'll connect it to a social credit score system.
Yeah.
If they connect it to a social credit score system, Tulsi Gabbard, I don't like what you said on the Joe Rogan Experience.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go and eliminate your ability to fly.
Right.
You can't fly. You can't travel. You can't buy gas anymore.
Yep.
Which is what they do in China.
So we'll pause there. I had a thought. So at the moment, I know every transaction is something took off the top for admin, which is a lot of rubbish. It's all digital. This is digital already. So what happens? Say this is actual real money. So I got a £50 note because I'm going to the UK next week, and it was really hard getting cash. No bank. I could not go to a bank and get actual money. I've gone through a transfer place and they will. I have to wait a week before they actually bring the money in. So I have to give them my money in Kiwi, and then they will then in a week's time give me pounds, actual real money. It's fucking scary. It's took us a week to actually find somewhere that will actually give us cash. This is all happening. We've not even been asked. Where's the fucking democracy? So even if there was no cash, this should stay in place with our little digital. This will be gone. It'll just be everything. You'll have, what do they call it? Smart money. It'd be on your phone and would do a few examples now.
The people who are planning this new system have made it clear that it would be useful, in their eyes, to use artificial intelligence algorithms in real time to block certain public transactions for a range of different reasons. So, what does this mean for John? Let's just say there is another lockdown and the government want to stop the public moving about the country. With this new system, they could introduce a simple change. That would mean John's wallet would only work if he was located within a certain distance of his own home.
So, back to my money. I've actually got real money. This is a piece of paper. And I buy something for £50. Then he buys something for £50. That value of that money is still £50, yeah? You get where I'm coming? But when it's digital money, right, that £50, beep, is now not £50, it's £49 and say 50 pence, because they took 50 pence off the top from either the shopkeeper or us for the transaction. And so it goes on and on and on and on till you've done 100 transactions and bingo, that fucking 50 quid is now nothing. It's worth nothing. The bank's got it all back in transactions. Here's some more examples of how scary this is getting.
The government has announced limits on petrol and diesel use for all individuals in the UK, which will be enforced using smart money. Each wallet will be limited to a purchase of 15 litres per week, after which the wallet will be prevented from making any further purchases in that week.
Ah, bollocks.
Growing concerns over obesity and bad health will be tackled using the Smart Money network. The government proposes to limit the total number of sugary foods that each digital wallet can purchase in any given month.
What?
Experts say that the new pandemic, which is 10 times more contagious and deadly than coronavirus, can only be defeated by minimising all human contact and staying home as much as possible. In order to enforce this, all digital wallets will only work within 1 mile of the address at which they are registered. Shopping times will be staggered so that you can only make purchases for a 2-hour period each day. All non-essential item purchases will be rejected.
Jesus Christ.
Okay, that was hypothetical, of course. But it's actually scary, because do you think for 1 minute, if a government had control of your fucking gonads, that they wouldn't squeeze them as hard as they bloody well could? Of course they wouldn't. That fat cunt at the beginning earlier on, yeah, he is a fat cunt. I mean, he ain't ever had his hands dirty. Yeah, he is. He's trying to get his hands on your fucking money and my money. Let's have another look at a hypothetical couple of more scenarios that might happen. And don't think it wouldn't happen, because you know governments don't work for us anymore.
In a move to encourage good behaviour, the government is awarding digital currency direct to your wallet if you report on anyone breaking lockdown rules or report on individuals expressing extremist views. Anyone deemed to be expressing extremist views may in turn have restrictions placed on their wallets.
What's that mean, extremist views?
So for them to, think about it. The total and 100% control. Why do you think they want control? Where's this all coming from? The best I could find is it's coming from all these fat fuckers. When I mean fat fuckers, they're wallets. The billionaires again. I've already done a feature on them, the 2,000 multi-billionaires. To become a billionaire, you have to have $2,000 million, pounds, whatever, to become a billionaire. But we're talking multi-billionaires. They're fucking scared of us. They're scared. There's fucking, what, nearly 8 billion of us now? And 2,000 of them? Gee whiz, don't you think these are the guys that are in charge of all this? There's no democracy. The democracy's left this planet. We know through all their scheming behind the scenes, they bought off every politician on this fucking planet. Even in little old New Zealand. This is scary stuff, babies. This is scary stuff. Do your research, which they tell you, our government here when we were in a pandemic. Don't do your research. Listen to your government. They're the only ones telling the truth. Then you know there's something bloody well wrong anyway. So that's it, folks. I'm just going to lead on to food for thought. I'm telling you, look at what's going on. I don't even think we're going to have a referendum on it. I really don't. So that last stuff is hypothetical. But the actual food for thought is, do you think if a government could, they would do that? That's all I'm going to say on food for thought. I already know what the answer is. They're already fucking us over now. What difference does it make if they start to control us through this and where we can spend our money? It'll happen, no two ways about it. And we'll all just sit there and fucking get on with it and then complain later on. And complain later on is too fucking late. I wouldn't even be able to do what I'm doing now because they'll just shut me down. Because it doesn't go with their guidelines. Anyway, what are we doing, Leslie? Leslie, what are we doing now, mate? Before they die, and you'll put a doozy together. I'll like it, will I? And I know the guy. Not personally, I hope. No, okay. Here we go. Before they die. Bring on Woody Woodpecker. Yes, quite right, so. Not a good look, eh? Not on a kids' TV show. Thanks, Les. You look very dapper today, by the way, in that shirt.
Bob Monkhouse approached his 70th.
So anyway, it's been a while, mate. Gimme. So what have you got for me? It's a bit scrunched up, this one. Looks a little bit sleazy, this one. So this guy was born Ronald Jeremy White in 1953. Oh, he's 10 years older than me. Still a young chap then. He is a legend in the acting industry, and he's been acting for over 3 decades. 3 decades? And starring over 2,000 films, Les. 2,000? Good giddy aunt. That's how come I've not heard of 2,000 films. He's actually listed in the Guinness Book of Records as well. The Guinness Book of Records. His nickname was the Hedgehog. I've heard of a name from the 80s, but that can't be the same guy called the Hedgehog in a certain, profession. His name is now, not Ronald Jeremy Twit, John Jeremy, the Hedgehog. Liz! That's the porn star with a big wanger, but he's a bit fat and he's got that moustache and little hair. That twat. How the fuck did he get all them women? Oh yeah, of course, they were paid. Now, I've got to say, I don't like this one, Leslie. Do you know why? Because he's up for 30 charges of rape and assault of girls and women. The youngest girl is 15 years old. Again, these fuckers get away with it all their life, and then when they get fucking old and grey, well, he was old and grey anyway, fucking ugly cunt. And then when they finally catch him, he's too fucking old, and they're now saying he's mentally unstable, so they're not going to try him. Unbelievable. Over 30... that man was a sexual predator his whole fucking life. He had a sex addiction. He did, he had a fucking sex addiction. And everyone, oh no, it's fine, get his big willy out and prod the... And when you looked at some of the... I did my little research. When you looked at some of the women he fucked, some of them were bloody girls, they weren't fucking women. And it's all on film. This fucking big, ugly, fat fucking cunt with his stupid tash fucking these young girls. It's all on bloody film, and they wait till he's in his 70s when he's mentally incapable. Oh, let's just move on. Let's do the film review, eh? The fuckers are everywhere.
Please, no!
Oh, it's not time for that advert yet. Oh, I'll take my bloody beer with me then. Oi, bring my beer back. Thank you. Hey Les, shall we do an advert first? Oh no, I know what we should do. Let's do a joke. And let's hope it's not that bloody South African guy, eh? Lovely jubblies.
These girls who wear the tight leggings, a mate of mine calls them the mumbles.
And I couldn't figure it out for a while. I said to him, why do you call them mumbles? He says, well, I can see the lips moving, but that twat's not talking at all.
I get it now. I see it in the gym all the time. Anyway, this week's review is about Painkiller. It's on Netflix, by the way, and it's about, oh God, how can I describe it? It's OxyContin. If you actually know this painkiller, then you'll understand what's happening. So it's basically Painkiller. They used the logo from the actual pharmaceutical company. Now, the pharmaceutical company was on its back legs, and the pharmaceutical company was owned by these multi-million-ish, billion-ish heirs, and they were on their back legs, literally. They were nearly broke. So they came up with the idea of actually having a drug that was mainstream, how can I put it, mainstream, legally distributed, and had heroin. It fucking ruined thousands of lives. So I'm not giving anything away when it shows you how they constructed the idea and then how they legally used drug distributors to actually farm this out to the general public. I know 300,000 people died from this drug. Also, that would mean hundreds of thousands, if not millions of lives and families were actually affected by it. These are about ordinary people, and a doctor came in and go, hey, have some OxyContin. Ding! Ooh. And basically made them drug addicts. And the film actually goes through that. It's actually a really good, well-made film. As I said, I think it's about 5 episodes. Give it a whirl. I gave it a 10, just purely on the back of it's actually a true story that happened in America. And do you know that fucking family ended up with reputedly 11 billion US dollars they made, and they've never fucking been sued. Not one member of that family. It's worth watching. Billionaires. You know, I keep going about billionaires and how they're above the law. They're above the law, and they kill. It was a pandemic, apparently. 300,000 people fucking died on a drug that they said was not addictive, that was addictive. And when everyone's saying it was addictive, they go, no, it's just the addictive people that were saying we're addictive. It's not. Have a look. It's worth a go. But
if you give up your cash, you will give up freedom for yourself, and you will give up the freedom of generations to come. It's not the convenience of the new money that is important. What is important is the fact that centralized administration of smart money could be used to control every aspect of your life. Say yes to keeping cash, and say no to centrally controlled smart money.
so before we wrap up, let's have a little advert, Les. Go on. You said it'll be good for me. Interesting.
Joseph Paris has perfected the art of designing, styling, and cutting hairpieces that make them windproof, even at 70 miles an hour.
With the Joseph Paris hairpiece, no one will ever know.
Okay, where's the fire?
Officer, have I got something for you?
Les, I bought one. Bloody hell, they look cool, eh? Oh well, that's it for this week, folks. I'll be on my holidays next week. I'm going to my hometown Lowestoft, most probably for the last time in a long time. So I hope you enjoyed the show. We've really run over. I'm looking now. We're really nearly 20 minutes. Hey, Les, we're nearly a series every single week. We could put some adverts in the middle anyway. You have a good time, folks. I might actually do one for my hometown. Go on, let's get on with the credits, Les.
Andy Pandy's somewhere in the garden today. There he is, look, on his swing.
Oh, God, blimey.